Welcome to the 5-Minute Warfare podcast from 5minutewarfare.com, where we dive into history's most pivotal battles and military strategies in around 5 minutes. Episode 9. Alexander the Great, Conqueror of the Known World. Alexander the Great is one of the most celebrated figures in history, renowned for his extraordinary military conquests and his role in shaping the ancient world. Born in 356 BCE in Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedon, Alexander was the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias. From an early age, he displayed remarkable intelligence and ambition, qualities that would later fuel his meteoric rise as one of history's greatest military leaders. By the time of his death at the age of 32, Alexander had forged an empire that stretched from Greece to Egypt and as far east as India, leaving an indelible mark on the cultures and civilizations he encountered. The groundwork for Alexander's success was laid by his father, Philip II, who transformed Macedon into a powerful kingdom. Philip reformed the Macedonian army, introducing new tactics and weaponry that made it one of the most formidable fighting forces in the ancient world. He also expanded Macedonian influence over neighboring Greek city-states, creating a unified Greece under Macedonian leadership. Alexander grew up in this environment of military innovation and political ambition, receiving an education from none other than the philosopher Aristotle. This education instilled in him a love for Greek culture, philosophy, and science, but also a desire to spread Greek ideas to the wider world. In 336 BCE, at the age of 20, Alexander ascended to the throne following the assassination of his father. His succession was not without challenges, as several Greek city-states saw Philip's death as an opportunity to rebel against Macedonian control. Alexander moved quickly to assert his authority, first crushing the rebellion in Thebes and then securing the loyalty of the other Greek states. With Greece firmly under his command, Alexander turned his attention to a much larger ambition, the conquest of the Persian Empire. At the time, the Persian Empire was the largest and most powerful empire in the world, stretching from Asia Minor to Egypt and into Central Asia. It had long been the dominant force in the region, and many viewed it as an insurmountable foe. However, Alexander was undeterred. In 334 BCE, he crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor with an army of around 40,000 men, beginning a campaign that would last over a decade. His first major victory came at the Battle of the Granicus River, where his forces defeated a much larger Persian army, setting the stage for his conquest of the region. Alexander's military genius lay in his ability to adapt to different circumstances and his use of innovative tactics. His army, built on the foundations laid by his father, was highly disciplined and well-trained. The core of his forces was the Macedonian phalanx, a formation of infantry armed with long spears, known as sarissas, which allowed them to engage the enemy at a distance. This was complemented by highly mobile cavalry units, including the elite companion cavalry, which Alexander personally led into battle. He also used siege engines and naval forces to great effect, demonstrating a remarkable versatility in his approach to warfare. In 333 BCE, Alexander faced the Persian king Darius III at the Battle of Issus. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Alexander's tactical brilliance led to a decisive victory. Darius fled the battlefield, leaving behind his family, whom Alexander treated with respect and dignity, further enhancing his reputation as a magnanimous conqueror. This victory opened the way for Alexander's conquest of the Levant and Egypt. In Egypt, he was welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule, and was even declared the son of the god Amun, reinforcing his divine status. It was in Egypt that he founded the city of Alexandria, which would later become a center of learning and culture in the ancient world. With Egypt under his control, Alexander turned his attention to the heart of the Persian Empire. In 331 BCE, he faced Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela, one of his most famous victories. Despite Darius assembling an enormous army, Alexander's superior tactics and the discipline of his troops led to another crushing defeat for the Persians. Darius once again fled, and Alexander proceeded to capture the Persian capitals of Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, the latter of which he famously burned, perhaps in retribution for the Persian destruction of Athens a century earlier. After the fall of Persepolis, Darius was murdered by one of his own satraps, effectively marking the end of the Persian Empire. However, Alexander's ambitions did not stop there. He pursued the remaining Persian forces into Central Asia, where he spent several years consolidating his rule over the region. His campaigns took him as far as modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan, where he founded several cities, often named after himself, to serve as administrative centers and garrisons. In 326 BCE, Alexander crossed into India, where he faced one of his most challenging opponents, King Porus, at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. Porus's use of war elephants presented a new and formidable obstacle, but Alexander's forces adapted and emerged victorious. Impressed by Porus's bravery and leadership, Alexander allowed him to retain his kingdom as a subordinate ruler, a testament to his respect for those who fought valiantly against him. However, the Indian campaign marked the limits of Alexander's empire. His troops, weary after years of continuous campaigning, refused to march further east, forcing him to turn back. On the return journey, Alexander continued to consolidate his control over the territories he had conquered, but his relentless ambition and the harsh conditions of his campaigns began to take a toll on his health. In 323 BCE, while in Babylon, Alexander fell ill and died at the age of 32. His death left a vast empire without a clear successor, as he had failed to name an heir. In the years that followed, his generals, known as the Diadochi, fought among themselves for control of the empire, leading to its fragmentation into several Hellenistic kingdoms. Despite the short-lived nature of his empire, Alexander's legacy endured long after his death. He is remembered not only for his military prowess, but also for his role in spreading Greek culture and ideas throughout the regions he conquered, a process known as Hellenization. The cities he founded became centers of trade, learning, and cultural exchange, blending Greek and local traditions in ways that would shape the future of the Mediterranean and Near Eastern worlds. Alexander the Great's conquests changed the course of history, forging connections between East and West, and leaving a legacy that has inspired countless generations. His name continues to be synonymous with military genius, ambition, and the pursuit of greatness, cementing his place as one of history's most iconic figures. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the 5-Minute Warfare podcast from 5minutewarfare.com. If you get a chance, please leave a review wherever you get your podcasts, as it will help us to grow. Also, why not check out our other 5-minute podcasts, 5-Minute Biographies, 5-Minute History, 5-Minute Murder, and 5-Minute Mysteries. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.